Howdy folks, Rolling Thunder here on a lovely day. Can you see that beautiful sky? Haven't made a video in a long time, but it's time to chime in, put my 2 cents in. Obviously, if you're on my channel, then you can see through all the lies, and I've probably figured out much of what's going on. Definitely not a pandemic. It's a plandemic and a pandemic, as people are getting dumber by the day. Holy shit. And scared. Really scared. I mean, I see it. The fear in their eyes, it is just crazy. But I'm not going to be going to the city anymore. And I'm good up here for now. Although, they know exactly where I'm at. Maybe I'll get into that later. But, surrounded by trees, nice clean air, and just really nice and quiet. I do have to kind of be quiet. There's some people near me that overheard me talking to somebody about this the other day, and it freaked them out, and so they had to make a big scene about how dare me and all that stuff. It's weird. So I'm done talking to those people. If people want help, then I'll help them when they kind of start coming to. But it's pointless to try and help anybody right now. I mean, I just have been trying for months on this as alone, but with my family and friends, and yeah, people are scared. And now with social media and stuff, social media and cell phones came in and totally fucked this world up overnight. Those two alone, because now people are fake as hell. They're already kind of lining up for that social credit score because they're afraid to, like something, because since Facebook shows you, hey, so and so like this, oh my god. So even if some of my family and friends do get it, they won't talk about it. So I don't know if they do or not, or if they see it. I have no idea if, I'm just totally censored. It wouldn't surprise me because my channel has been ruined for years. So I don't even know if anybody's going to see this, but whatever. Um, I recommend really getting in your eyeballs on what's going on all over the world. Definitely don't just watch America, because there's other countries that are ahead of us on this timeline, and you can see what's going on there, and you should know that it's coming to you. Apparently, Tucker Carlson just told the world, or it was on his show. I don't think he was saying it. I don't know who said it. Someone from the WHO saying that now they have to go door to door and pull people out of houses and put them in quarantine, because now the families are spreading it amongst themselves. Whatever. It's fucking ridiculous. But from what I see, people will probably just swallow this as well, even though they might take their kid or whatever. That's the reason. That's how they'll round people up, and so that's all gonna push buttons. So it's gonna get crazy in America. There's a lot of gun owners, so they'll be pushing their buttons. So it's gonna get weird, and then they'll put the clamp down. So hopefully people got prepared. Shit, I've been talking about this stuff with my family and friends, and anybody, for 15 years now. So the weird thing is, I've lost all my friends and family pretty much. My dad, I actually woke up, so that's pretty cool. Most people can't say that. It's kind of weird. The consensus seems to be that, it's the same for everybody, no matter what you present people. Actually, how it worked with my dad is, he's from Germany and I'm from here in the States, and he was visiting. And so I had his full attention. And I just sat him down at my computer, and I wasn't just talking about it, I was showing him things. Um, I had his undivided attention, and it worked. And then he did his own thing. He, started doing his own research, and then started going, holy shit. So it's pretty cool. But of course, nobody will listen to him too. So now we're the crazy ones in the family, and it's nuts. We got censorship, coming big time, even more so than it's been. So really, this might just be my last video. And then all of a sudden, like in the past week or so, all these people that hadn't really shown their whole hand yet, as far as truth peddlers go, which pretty much all of YouTube is just shills now. And if you do your own research, you can see them. You see the little turds they drop, but most people don't do their own research. So there's a lot of followers, and I just tell by the, I don't know, the numbers can tell you a lot. Anyway, all of a sudden, these people that were kind of, you thought were doing a pretty good job, all of a sudden just started pushing these shill channels. So, all these new people that might just be waking up, or they're wondering what the fuck is going on, and they see something and then they get shoveled right towards all these guys. So that is not good, whatever they're gonna, but it's happening. I see it happening big time. So the few people that are waking up, they're getting shoved towards the shills, and so they'll get misled in some way. I try not to pay attention. When I figure out who a shill is, I pretty much just stop. There's certain guys that I consistently make sure I see what they're talking about, and thumb down their video and stuff, just to do that a little bit. Of course, I can't make any comments on any of those channels because I've been blocked for a long time, but I do my part doing that, trying to, I don't know, help a little bit in the comment sections. But anyway, there's reports about food and all that stuff, so hopefully people have food and gardens going, because it's going to get, I think, hairier in the next couple of months. Who knows? This is my opinion. Uh-oh. I don't know if I've already mentioned it, but I was talking to somebody a couple days ago about all this, and she's kind of waking up, but she's getting scared about this, and I'm trying to help her not be scared about getting the virus. I'm trying to help her see what's actually coming, and that scares her too. So she doesn't, she tries to change the subject and whatnot, but I talked to her for about 5 minutes, but voices carry around here, and some neighbors nearby heard us, and then they had to make a scene about how dare me and all that stuff, and I'm part of the problem, blah blah blah. So the fear is bad. Sometimes maybe your own neighbors might be something more to fear than the military right now. Everybody's a fucking tattletale, and it's getting weird. So I'm glad I'm in the mountains. I'm glad I'm surrounded by trees, out of the city for now. We'll see what happens. I did mention they know where I am, and it's weird. I've been traveling the last 3 years, 75,000 miles, and they keep an eye on me. And you're probably going, well, why? Well, for one thing, I'm not living in a house where they know where I'm at, so I've been moving about for the last 3 years, so it's not like a constant surveillance, but They let me know that they're watching me, and somehow they put something on my van. I'm thinking because I don't use a cell phone, and I've gone without internet for a long time, but that doesn't seem to stop them from finding me. I don't have OnStar or any of that bullshit on my older vehicle. So, but the weird thing is I don't think they've done anything to any truthers, because they don't want to do that yet. I mean, it'll probably happen all at once, or maybe with these door-to-door searches, that's what it's all about, is trying to weed out whoever they've got on their list and whatnot. Um, so I am ready for that if that comes. I'm not afraid to die. Uh, Definitely see what's coming, so I wouldn't want to be part of that if that ends up being the gig. I don't want to get no shot. I don't want them to test me. I'm totally healthy. I was an Olympic athlete, a world champion, cyclist. Um, I lived at 9,000 feet and worked at 11,000 feet as a ski patroller for 22 years. My lungs, I mean, I'm very healthy, and I avoid the medical scene and have for a long time. When I broke my neck 37 years ago, almost, coming up on that date. And when I left the hospital, they had me on 13 different pharmaceuticals, saying that I needed all these different things for this or that or whatever. And I'm like, holy shit. But, I was in college right then. I didn't have any money. Not very much. I think I was making like $350 a month or something, while I was going to school. And so I couldn't afford all these drugs. So I started weaning myself off one by one to see if there was any effects, or if I really needed it or whatever. And one by one I realized, no, I didn't need that one for anything. I'm fine. So I weaned off all those things, and I've never used pharmaceuticals since, which alarms them. So I had a bladder stone, a really big one that I had to deal with. So I did have to go to the hospital 3 years ago, and they started giving me the interview and stuff, and they wanted to know what drugs I took. I said none. And they were like, "What? None? Come on." And then they had seen me taking an Altoid or something earlier, and they said, "I saw you taking something." And it was an Altoid. And they're like, "So you don't take any drugs?" I said, I smoke marijuana. That's my only drug, and has been, for years." And so when the doctor finally arrived, that was the first thing that the nurse said. She was in an alarmed tone. "He doesn't take any pharmaceutical drugs." Nope. So, yeah, that stupid Hippocratic oath of do no harm is fucking bullshit. Because what do they do to babies when they first come out? So, first do no harm, and what do? A lot of harm. So, don't take these shots when they finally get to that. Don't get tested. They stick a swab all the way up your nose, way, way up there, and all the way back into your throat. Don't do that. If you've done your research and stuff, I know you've already figured this out. It's genius, actually. I can't believe they can pull it on the whole world all at the same time. It's amazing. But it's working. So, full speed ahead, I guess. Come what may. Anyway, uh, did I talk about what I've seen? And of course, 5G getting installed everywhere. Um, you've probably seen it as well. The big orange spools, a lot of it being installed underground, right in the middle of the road. Sometimes totally screwing up roads, but they don't care. So that's probably because it's harder to monkey wrench that if it's underground, especially under a road. Um, I don't know, that's my opinion. But I saw that everywhere, even in podunk towns, um, up in the mountains that had a small population. I saw it, so I'm like, holy shit. You know, for this big rush out, you wouldn't think that they would be trying to go to some of those rural areas right away. But, I don't know. Hopefully you keep an eye on your own neighborhoods and stuff. Hopefully you're checking out your school right now. Because where our schools, they're right in the middle of the neighborhood. So even if your kids don't go back to school, they're installing 5G right now. So maybe it's powerful enough to, you know, get the whole neighborhood. So you guys need to start coming together instead of coming apart, because that's going to be the most important thing. I think if you're stuck in a city, you need to start figuring stuff out and talk to your neighbors and educating them on what's really going on. And, you know, the reason they have us all separated right now is you can't protest. You can't come together and figure things out right now. And they've even got the citizens toddling on each other now. So, see something, say something. And, you know what it comes down to really is people are pissed off that they're doing all, playing by all the rules and people aren't. So, not just fear, but it's like, wah, I'm gonna call the cops because you're not doing what I'm doing. So, if you can get out of the city, I highly recommend that. Because your fellow man might be your worst enemy. Who knows? Especially if they're not prepared and you are, and they know it. You know, people are going to get desperate at some point. But I say, have no fear. You don't want to live in this system anyways. Go out on your feet. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Peace and love. And best wishes.